Whitlock, is LeBron trying to get Ty Lue fired?
Hashtag strive for a new coach is what we would call that. I don't know if he's trying to get Ty Lue fired, but that is what happens with LeBron when the team doesn't have success. The head coach gets fired, and this isn't his first rodeo with being dissatisfied or uninterested in a coach's future. Trying to get him fired, I'll say no. But he don't give a damn whether Ty Lue, Mike Brown, David Blatt, Paul Silas, who am I missing?
Well, to your point, though, LeBron looks at Brad Stevens and thinks, that's the best coach in the league. He can't beat me. So I think LeBron looks at coaches and thinks, you guys keep telling me that Brad Stevens, they can't win a game against me. So he thinks coaches are completely replaceable. I would say this. I still think he's sending messages to Dan Gilbert. Yo, you got to trade that pick because we're not close. That's what it feels like to me.
I tend to agree with Colin. I'm with you. I mean, I don't think he's trying to get him fired. If he really was trying to get him fired, he may have just said, hey, that's up to the front office. He didn't have to say, I hope not. Now,
he
again,
might lose
not
9
a ring
to 12
in the
games. That might get him fired.
Well, look, here's the thing. First of all, this is not on Ty Lue. And who would you bring in? Would you just move over an assistant coach, Jim Boylan or Larry Drew? Yeah, I mean,
Fizdale.
Andy,
you're not bringing in a Fizdale or anybody halfway through the season, especially when LeBron may not stay. So I don't. This is not on Ty Lue, but I'm with you. LeBron, you look at his numbers lately. They have not been LeBron James-like numbers.
It's incredible.
The effort hasn't been there.
Yep.
I'm with Colin. I think up until the trade deadline, he's sending a message, whether it's coaches, players, whatever, to Dan Gilbert to try to improve so we can compete for a championship. It'll be interesting when they don't do anything after the deadline,
now that's
what LeBron does.
But don't you also think that maybe it's the opposite? LeBron does. I don't care what happens to the roster. I'm a free agent. I'm not touching anything. Ty Lue, hey, that's you guys' show. You make the decision. I may be the second best basketball player in NBA history. I don't want the blood on my hands of Ty Lue getting fired and I walk out the door in 5 months. I think LeBron wants nothing to do with the roster buildup or the coaching situation. He knows, don't ask me. And I think the media is at fault here. Why are they asking about Ty Lue? Why are they asking about the Cavs, what moves they're going to make?
Lost
they need to ask LeBron James. They need to go to LeBron. LeBron, are you staying? What are you doing in the offseason?
You can't ask him
it's
that
on
every
LeBron.
day.
It's the superstar.
No,
it's not about Ty Lue.
Look, no, it is about Ty Lue.
You just said it's not about Ty Lue.
That's a good question, though. I mean, I don't have a problem with the media going there. You've lost 9 to 12. I don't think he should be fired because I don't think, other than a Brad Stevens or a Greg Popovich, who's coming in here and immediately making this team better?
No.
The players aren't putting forth the effort.
Right.
For whatever reason, and that's not on
You just said the effort's not coming from LeBron the last
I don't think it's coming from him or the rest of them.
1 second, though. There's a pattern. LeBron doesn't want to be coached by anybody. Red Auerbach could come back from the grave, and he's not going to. Phil Jackson could, put the weed down and come back and want to coach the team. LeBron is not getting coached by anybody. LeBron is the head coach. LeBron put this roster together, and now that it's not working, LeBron is stepping back away.
Yep.
I ain't got nothing. Ain't on me.
To your point, I've said, and I've argued, if he leaves, the best place to go would be San Antonio. Because I think if LeBron had one of those iconic coaches, Popovich, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, they would have had the credibility to make him do the style that's best for the team. Just like Phil Jackson did it with Jordan. And LeBron hasn't had that guy. I think he'd have more rings if he had a coach like that.
LeBron to suddenly show up at 33 in San Antonio and start listening to Greg Popovich.
Oh, I think
he's
he would
run the show for over
I think
10
that's
years.
a coach he would respect enough who he would play according to his system.
How do we know LeBron, to Jason's point, is
McIntyre.
McIntyre is kind of looking at this and thinking, man, this ain't solvable. This is not a solvable thing. LeBron doesn't want to be humiliated in the finals again. He doesn't. How do we know LeBron hasn't said, you talked a week ago on my show, you're like, I'm getting this weird vibe. I saw a game the other night. I watched half of it. LeBron had like 16. LeBron was as disengaged as I have seen him.
Perhaps that's why it's not solvable, Colin. I mean, can we ever just look in the mirror at LeBron. I mean, they're paying you a boatload of money. They're giving you a lot of power. The league has catered to you. You can't just say this ain't solvable, so I don't care.
I'm
Well,
with
no,
you
but
on
he's like
that.
the MVP.
Even if that's the case, even if you gotta be competitive enough,
Right.
to say, you know what, we're gonna give our best. So by your scenario, if he thinks, okay, I don't want to get embarrassed again in the finals, does that mean they go out early in the second round
No,
or,
wait a
something?
minute,
Or in the,
Chris,
in the Eastern
wait a
Conference
minute,
Finals
Chris.
at some point?
This is a guy who we bagged on for not showing up in every game last year. How many games has he played this year?
Every game.
All of them. He's like third in the league in minutes played. He's doing everything in his power.
No,
on the court.
lately he's averaging about 23 points a game over the last.
You think he's
several
maybe
games.
a little bit tired? 33-year-old carrying the oldest roster in the
Okay,
league?
if that's the
Just a
case,
little?
if the age is catching up to him, fine. I'm just saying, if it's effort, that's a problem. And you said maybe he's sending a message,
No, that's
but
what number one.
I don't want to see lack of effort after the trade deadline or in the playoffs.
But I think pre-deadline, he's done this now 3 years in a row, where it's
Yeah.
not like a day before the trade deadline. Oh, he gives the front office a month. He just starts kind of mailing it in, complaining, stories get leaked, mystery leaves for 2 weeks to Miami. This feels like I'm
Will
not
Chamberlain.
a little bit.
He's born with too many gifts. He's too quirky, and he's never going to win as many titles as he could have if he had allowed himself to be coached by any number of coaches. We keep talking about the great ones. Let anybody coach him. But again, when you're born with that many gifts, sometimes you don't know how to use them.